Hello everyone and welcome to a new Fallout 76 event spotlight. It's been a while since I've done one of these, and what better time than the holidays and the return of the Holiday Scorched to get back into it. The event has been live for about a week now, and it's expected to run until December 31st. So you've got about a week left to go out and hunt down all those festive little zombies and take their Christmas presents. In today's video, I'm going to do a quick run through of my top 5 locations and events that I like to hit to farm this one. There are certainly more places than this, and of course your mileage may vary. It's going to be different every time you run it, but these are the ones that have worked consistently well for me. Remember, if you like videos like this one and want to see more Fallout 76 content, go ahead and subscribe, hit the like button, or leave a comment. There's always a lot more to come on the channel. We're getting started here at Tyler County Fairgrounds, which is kind of a bonus location. Sometimes it's been good for me, sometimes it hasn't, but it gives us a chance to touch on why you might want to spend some time farming these guys. The obvious reason is to take their holiday gifts. They come in 3 varieties: small, large, and holiday gift, which I guess makes more sense than saying medium. When you open them, you'll have a chance at some new rare apparel and plans, as well as caps, junk, booze, and maybe legendary scrip? Last year you could get legendary scrip, but this year they may have done away with that after about 3 billion of those gifts got duped and passed around the whole player base. Speaking of which, this year the gifts weigh 1 pound each and can't be dropped or traded, so duping them is going to be pretty difficult. Alright, as you can see, the trip to Tyler County wasn't amazing this time. Let's go to a more consistent location, Wavy Willards in the Toxic Valley. So when we get here, the first thing I always like to do is head off to this little maintenance area off to the left of the entrance. There's not always a Holiday Scorched here, but I would say 9 times out of 10 that I've been here, there has been. So it's a good place to go, and this guy dropped me a bloodied shovel. And that, of course, is the other reason we want to farm this event. You get a ton of legendaries. People ask me all the time how I get so much scrip for all my legendary scrip videos. Well, this is one of the ways. I take advantage of events like this, and then I dump all those garbage legendary items off on secondary characters that don't really get played very often. And they add up. It adds up, and you pile up your scrip, and before you know it, you've got a ton to work with. It's also great for making caps if you don't want to store a ton of scrip. Just sell them fairly cheap in your vendor, maybe 10 caps per scrip value for the ones that aren't very good, and you'll be surprised how quick they'll move and how much you can get out of it. So I'm not going to go through like every single second that I spend at all of these places. I think that would bore you to tears. But we'll go through this one a little bit here. I try to just kind of do a circle around the outside of Wavy Willards. And it can be really helpful to take advantage of VATs in here, especially in these big open areas. And there we've got a large holiday gift. And this is the thing that they need to change about this event. That pop-up is insane. Same thing with legendary items. It takes up half your screen. It's ridiculous. That's fine. I'm glad I got a legendary item, but can I please go back to seeing the screen? And we've got a lot of them on this trip, so we'll take advantage of that. The other thing I always recommend with this particular seasonal event is when you kill these Holiday Scorched, loot them immediately. Trying to go back and find them again can be difficult, especially if you're running perks like Bloody Mess. It can be challenging if you're at a really busy event like Scorched Earth, where you've got things flying at you all over the place, and we'll hit Line in the Sand later too, and you'll see just how chaotic it can get. So you can see here, Wavy Willards, we've got tons of Scorched running around, lots of them to hunt down and kill. And there are lots of little secret spots in here too that you want to make sure you hit. But the big thing is you just want to listen. And I haven't turned my music all the way down here, but it does help when you're doing this event. If you turn your music off and your sound effects up, You can hear the jingle jangle of the Holiday Scorched from a pretty good distance, so you know if there's one around or not. It can be a little confusing because sometimes they have a death tambo, and when they're running around, that makes noise. But for the most part, you should be able to pick it out. There he goes. One last one left here. I said I wouldn't show every minute of it, but I guess I did. And that should about do it for Wavy Willards. We'll check this one spot here. I don't hear any Holiday Scorched down here. Sometimes they're here, though. I kind of just want to show you that this area exists. If you're ever running around here and you hear one and you can't find it, it's probably down in this little maintenance basement area. We didn't have any on this trip, but that's okay. It still shows you where to go. Next, we'll jump over to Morgantown Airport. This location is usually really good for me, too. There's a lot of Scorched running around out here, and I love locations like this because it's a forest area. So your Scorched are only going to be level 50, assuming you are max level. But if you're a lower level player, they're going to scale down to your level. So anybody can farm this location. And that makes this event really good for low level players too, because these, you get a lot of 1-star legendary items, which admittedly aren't amazing. It's not really what you're going for a late game build, but in the early game, getting an executioner submachine gun or something like that can really make your life a whole lot easier. So there's no harm in running this and picking some of that stuff up for yourself. Now, even your higher level Scorched, they're pretty squishy and they don't hit that hard. So I'm actually going to swap in Marathoner here so I can just sprint around a whole lot more. This build is my bloodied unarmed build. I'm not going total low health with it, but it's still fairly low. Low enough that I can do good damage and have plenty of AP from my unyielding armor, but high enough that one shot from any random enemy isn't going to kill me. And here we've got one running around. Morgantown Airport's kind of an interesting spot. I've run around here and seen 5 or 6 of them at a time. I've run around here and seen 1 or none, but none is pretty rare. There's usually a few running around. So I always try to just kind of cover the main airport ground, and we'll just take a look here, see if there's anybody else. I think we have 1 or 2 hiding over here yet. Yeah, there we go. I remember I vatsed and saw one briefly earlier. Take you out. Take your presents. A couple more over here, and I don't think we have any more Scorchy claws running around here, but that's okay. And then the next thing we want to do is we want to run over to the other end of Morgantown Airport. And this is really your kind of third location, if you will. And that is the Collision Course event. Now, I'm running this on my private world. If you have Fallout First and you have private world capability, then there are benefits to running this in a private world. It's not... There's kind of a myth out there that you can get more spawns on a private world. I wouldn't say that's true, but it does ensure that when you go to a location, it hasn't already been cleared out, and you're going to get a crack at an event like this. When you go to Morgantown Airport, you can start it up by just clicking on that flare gun. And this event, it doesn't look as exciting for Holiday Scorched this time around, but I can tell you that I have done this year, and usually, more often than not, I get 3 or 4 Holiday Scorched every time I run it. It's a really quick, easy event. The other day I ran it and I had an entire wave, and that's how this event works, is you get waves of Scorched attacking you. I had an entire wave that was all Holiday Scorched, so it's totally random. You never know exactly how it's going to shake out, but it's a good one to do. You always want to run over here and see it. There's one. Take these guys out and then loot him before I lose him. There we go. If you wait till they turn into meat piles, it gets very confusing. I think we get the point of this one. It's just taking out waves of Scorched, and there weren't a whole lot this time around, but normally when I do that event, there are. So take that into consideration, but that's a good reason to hit Morgantown Airport and see if you can trigger that one. It might give you a second chance at some extra Holiday Scorched. All right, the next location we're going to hit is Camden Park. This one can also be a little bit hit or miss, but I would say overall, I usually find a few here. And you've got pretty distinct locations where you're going to find the Scorched at Camden Park. You've got a pack of them there. You sometimes have some over here by the bathrooms, but more often than not, it's going to be critters or ghouls. We got ghouls this time. Where I usually find the Holiday Scorched is around the roller coaster area. We'll just take care of that stupid rad roach. Thank you. And we just want to look around in here. I hear one running around. And I like Camden Park because, again, we get those lower level Scorched. And now with One Wasteland, everything is going to be at least level 50. So the legendaries we get are at least usable. And anybody else hanging around here? I'm getting kind of lost. Let's get back on track. Okay, confusing area, unconfused. And we've got another one here. And I love these guys because they have unique weapons. They've got shish kebabs and bear arms and Grognak's axes and all sorts of things like that. Oh, we've got another one. Awesome. Very good. Grab those can chimes when you're here. And you just want to head up into the roller coaster area just in case. Doesn't look like we've got anybody here. And then we'll just take a quick zip over to the bumper cars. There's a pack that usually spawns over there. Sometimes you get one, sometimes you don't. And looks like we did here. No Holiday Scorched this time. And then one last spot, we want to head over to where the hot dog eating contest is. Right behind there, there's another pack that spawns. Like I said, I've found, looks like no Holiday Scorched for this pack. And yeah, my success here has almost always been in the roller coaster area. But just do a quick run around and listen, and that'll usually give you what you need to know. And the next location we're going to hit is Allegheny Asylum. Now, I'm here during Line in the Sand. Haven't started the event yet. This is a good place to hit even if the event isn't going because there's a big pack of Scorched outside. More often than not, you're going to find one or two Holiday Scorched. Hopefully you won't get murdered like I did. And go back and track them all down again. All right, where are you guys at? Okay, I hear you. You killed me once. I won't let you kill me again, Santa. No way, Santa Claus. You are all mine. Okay, and we've got a couple more running around here. And I think that's it. So it's not a big group of Scorched there. So if you don't have Line in the Sand going, it's really easy to just pop in there and see if you got one. If you do, great. If not, oh well. And then to get the event started, we want to just head over here and repair the sonic generator. Couple of steel will do the trick there. Even if you don't have them on you, that's okay. It'll pull them out of your stash. Then you go around the back and you initiate the pre-combat check in the terminal. And then you wait patiently for dirty little Christmas zombies to come out of the woodwork and attack you. Takes about a minute until the event starts. We can skip ahead. And much like the collision course event, you're going to get waves of Scorched here, but these waves are much bigger. There are many more of them, and these Scorched are higher level. So this is a great way to farm XP. And you can see just in the first wave, we got 2. Your mileage per wave will certainly vary. Remember, at this event, there are a lot of Scorched. You're going to have a lot of corpses and a lot of meat piles that pile up. Make sure you loot your Holiday Scorched right after you kill them. Take your time and do it. This event, now the other thing with this event is it does usually spawn Scorch Beasts. Sometimes it spawns more than others. This time, the Scorch Beast got stuck in the ground behind the asylum, which is convenient because I'm on my melee character. So that doesn't bother me all that much. And I love doing this one at night because you can see the glow from the legendary Scorched running around from a distance. They're really easy to spot, despite having lots of noise going on in the background. And you can see how this one works. There's not much to it other than killing things and taking their stuff. You just wait for the waves to come and do your best to clear them out. You're going to have some waves where you get 1 or 2, some waves where you get 3 or 4, some waves where you get none. You just don't know. But when this event pops, you want to make sure you do it. This is a good one to do solo on your private world if you have that, because then there's no competition. But the other thing I'll recommend for this one, if you are, especially on a public world, make sure you're teamed up with the people who are at the event. If there's a few other people there and they have a public team, join it, because you're all pretty close together. So even if you don't get a hit on that particular legendary Scorched, you should still be able to loot it as long as you're in close proximity to a teammate that got a hit on it. So it's always a good idea to do that when you're farming this. And this is another good one, of course, for XP. So there were some bugs you could do to exploit it in the past. Those have been fixed. But you can see here we're still getting tons of Holiday Scorched. But I think you get the point. We can move on to our next location, which is Fisher Site Prime. So technically, you probably can hit any of the Fisher sites as long as you're comfortable with Scorch Beasts or you're on a build where you can handle that. Now, being on a melee build right now, that's not ideal for Scorch Beasts. I did bring along a shotgun and I've got Enforcer equipped, so if I need to bring them to the ground, I can. But hopefully they'll come down for me. You already saw we got one. And this whole area is pretty big. You just kind of want to run around and see what you get. You get some random Scorched spawns all over the place. And when the Scorch Beast comes down, I'm going to take him out. This is an Executioner's Gauntlet, so it does the job pretty effectively. Anybody else hanging around? Come on now, I'm trying to show off for people. There we go. I hear some more jingle bells. Where you at, Santa? There you go. Okay, Mrs. Claus. Mrs. Scorchy Claus. All right, we'll take you down. Why don't you want to die? This is unacceptable. Die. There we go. Oh, furious fat man. Good. Nothing like 20 pounds of dead weight to make things a little more interesting. And we've got another Scorched on the ground. You need to go away. Goodbye. Thank you very much. All right. Anybody else hanging around here? And just like any other location, sometimes you're going to get a bunch of Holiday Scorched. Sometimes you're going to get 1 or 2. So far, this looks like a 1 or 2. But I like Fisher Site Prime because there's a lot of action here. You do get Scorch Beasts to kill. There's a lot of things that... Well, that was interesting. Okay. A lot of things that can pop up to take on and kill. A lot of Scorched spawns here, sort of out of nowhere, so you never know. Even if it looks like you're not going to have a lot of success, you might. Let's try and, just for fun here, let's try and bring this guy down. I am not spec'd for shotguns beyond having Enforcer equipped to try and take out some limbs. That'll force him to the ground, eventually, hopefully. But really, we're here for Holiday Scorched. But this is our last stop. If you've come this far, you don't mind taking the ride with me. All right, what do we got here? Okay, he's not landing anytime soon. Let's go back to the gauntlet and see if anybody else pops up here. We got a couple. Oh, good. We got crop dusting. Fun. All right, anybody else hanging around? I don't think so. But I'd like to kill off that Scorch Beast. So the other spot to check is over here at Drop Site V9. You want to run inside. Sometimes there's a couple of Scorched hanging around in here. I think they ran outside after me. Oh, I heard him land. All right, there we go. We're going to finish this off by punching a Scorch Beast to death. Don't go anywhere. You stay put. There we go. All right, that's awesome. What can I say? I like punching Scorch Beasts to death. And to close things out, we'll just talk over a little more footage from Line in the Sand, because that was particularly productive but exceptionally long. So, to wrap this one up, we've kind of covered the basics here. Just to reiterate, there are other locations you can go to. Your mileage is going to vary at all of them, and I'm a great example of that. I've had plenty of people tell me that they swear by the Glass Cavern as a great place to go. They swear by the Valley Galleria as a great place to go. But last year and this year, I just didn't have a whole lot of success in either of those locations, so I didn't include them. Doesn't mean they're bad. You may have a hot spot that you like to go to that's perfect, but for me, I just haven't had the same success at that location. So videos can't include every single possibility, so we'll include the ones that have done well for me, and hopefully that helps you out. As always, if you enjoyed this, if you found it useful or anything in between, go ahead and hit the like button, leave a comment, and most importantly, subscribe so you don't miss any of the Fallout 76 content I publish on the channel every week. Till next time, I'm Fisty McRib.